Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where all of these repairs are definitely going to be done before the month tick, so let's go ahead and tick on forward. We're not going to have any pilot work to do. We still have quite a lot before Poet needs to get another point. Let's see, what is this? We'll tell her to send Rain to us. Okay, Rain is in low spirits. That's fine. So we'll proceed here. Any moment now, RogueTech. Continue. There we go. Fantastic. So we're going to continue to get these repairs done. And they are done now. Perfect. So let's see what we've got available here. We know that we didn't take any internal damage, so there's nothing in the mech bay that needs to be done. Now, we do have this assassinate mission. This is against Comstar, and there's no free priority salvage here. I think that that's a little bit spicy. This is also against Comstar with a tonnage maximum. Oof. This one is against Davian with a tonnage maximum. A capture base. Oh, it's Comstar. And no free priority salvage. Now, we're trying to avoid fighting Comstar because they have 6-unit lances. It's a lot tougher. They're 50% harder than other factions. So, well, other than Word of Plague. But that's definitely something that we're not really interested in. Now, this one is interesting. We need to defend a lance, and the Cretan forces are not the only ones interested in this lance. It's a Word of Blake lance. It is 8.5 skull, so we would be expecting airstrikes. No free priority salvage. But at 600k, this is so much money. This is probably going to be challenging, but the number of lances it's going to throw against us will be less relevant than in, say, a Comstar matchup. So I think we're going to go ahead and try this. Yeah, I know we have a little bit of unused tonnage in each of those. You might be right on this one, Darius. We'll see. We'll see if he's correct. This is 8.5 skull, but our options are very limited right now. We're getting some really bad contract generation, actually, for the last couple of contract generations. So hopefully after this one, we'll be okay. This is more of a reroll than anything, but we're probably going to take significant damage from this. We have to keep that in mind. Now, we might still be profitable. The real issue is not repair costs. The real issue is month ticks. Now, this is our third deploy this month, so we're very profitable this month, pretty much no matter what happens here. So I think this is okay. Maybe. Since Darius said that the Draconis Combine was not the only ones interested in this lance, that does mean that we're going to see multiple factions dropping in. They might fight amongst themselves. But we're expecting 6 allied units on our side. Plus our 8 mechs. Which in theory should mean that we have sufficient forces to deal with whatever they've got. Hopefully they don't have just nothing but artillery. That would be obnoxious, for sure. Until we got in close, and then they couldn't do anything. There's that. But we're not really designed for getting in close. So that means that currently artillery and airstrikes are what we're worried about. Well, let's see what we've got going on here. We need to rendezvous with Bravo Lance and clear the AO. The Draconis Combine has attacked our employer's forces. Particularly, they seem interested in a specific lance. It may be a vendetta, or they may just be after specific technology. Whatever the case, we need to defend the lance at all costs. Cretan forces are not the only ones interested in this lance. Indeed. So, we'll see what they've got to throw against us. This shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. But we're probably going to take substantial damage, especially if they have any artillery and they can use it early on. And if they just immediately start dropping in airstrikes, yeah, that could be rough.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Excellent. Let's do this. Let's see what we've got.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, our allies have been pinned down, and their primary targets are additional dropships inbound. Move up and try to keep them engaged. Watch out for reinforcements. We have an additional allied lance here, apparently. Okay. Interesting. Is this us? I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Things appear to be... Oh, this is our deploy position. Okay, that makes more sense. Gotcha. Things appear to be invisible here, but I think they'll update. I would like to deploy a little bit forward, perhaps over here. We might have to careful maneuver to get a few of these down. For all of those, that's okay, except maybe the Fafnir, but we'll take a look. Okay, incoming drop pods. Up over here. There's a party. Sure. So these must be the guys that we're supposed to keep alive. They've got a couple of Galahads, an Atlas, a Battlemaster, a Grigori, and a Stormcrow. Okay. There's a Warhammer 2C up here, a Mjolnir. We also see a Hatamoto Chi, a Boar's Head, an Orion Protector, and a Sparky. That's a Griffin. Okay. So there's 2 enemy lances, right? We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we see all 8 of them. There are inbound drop pods.
Let's do this.
Our Salamander does not get any direct LOS. Actually, it can. Not there. Over here. It can get direct LOS here or here. In both cases, I would prefer to reserve. We'll allow them to move and see if they come to us a bit. That's what we want. We want them to drop their evasive. Oh, I didn't see that fire starter. Okay, so that's an additional allied lance down here that I didn't note. That's us. The Grigori moves up, fires on that Sparky, does a little bit of splash damage to it. So what else down here? We see a Hunchback, we see an Atlas, we see a fire starter, and it looks like it has a Mech Rider on it. Okay, that's fine. The enemy hasn't moved yet. We're going to continue to reserve. Okay, so now this Warhammer 2C, and not the Hatamoto Chi, just the Warhammer 2C, and something else will move. It's the Sparky. Okay, and now the 2C. I would love to see the 2C come down this way. Technically, it's our friend the Hunchy firing first. He got 4 damage onto that Orion, maybe 8. Not a whole lot. Our friend the Battlemaster moves up. Come on in, you Warhammer. Okay, I'm not sure if that's better or worse of a position for us. Interesting. We're going to move our Salamander up over this direction. Actually, no, we're not. There was a spot up over here. Yeah, this is the best we've got.
Acknowledged.
This is going to be pretty long range for our MRMs. Incredibly long range. We're just going to fire improved here. We don't expect much. We actually hit the streak SRMs. That was some okay armor reduction. Not the best I've ever seen, but it was fine. Hatamoto Chi dips back into cover over here. Okay.
What can I do for you?
So our Mauler moves next. The Mauler is just going to move up this way. Okay. Our friendly Atlas moves and does not fire. Now these drop pods up here, they're going to be dropping in at the end of this round, I expect. This Orion backs off, is probably going to launch some LRMs here. It actually doesn't even fire.
Yeah?
Okay. The Corsair is going to step up over here, and we need to take a bit of stock here on positions for artillery. And it looks like the Direwolf Boar's Head combo here is the one to go for. The Boar's Head has already moved, if I recall correctly. No, that was our friend the Atlas. The Direwolf is the one that already moved. It has 2 evasive compared to the Boar's Head's no evasive. Actually, the Boar's Head is the better hit here. So we're going to go ahead and start stripping armor off of there. And we'll get a little splash damage in there.
Yes, Commander.
The Awesome is going to move over here. We're going to pot shot at this Warhammer 2C. We don't expect much here. Are we going to fire both heavy PPCs? Yes, but I'm not going to be happy about it because we're probably going to stray shot one of them. We did hit one of them.
My armor's getting stripped off.
And we stray shot the other, as I expected. Okay, that was on the Salamander. Yeah, not ideal. But it's not the end of the world. The Fafnir is going to sprint its way up over here. There's no way that it gets into range right now. The LOS is both a blessing and a curse at this exact moment. For now, we're going to continue to hit the Boar's Head with artillery.
Roger that.
Not the greatest hit I've ever seen there, but it's okay. Stripping off some armor. So most of these guys are just as ineffective as we are, because they don't have LOS. That Mjolnir can't do anything. The Madcap Mark II is going to position over here.
Copy that.
And we're just going to continue pot-shotting at this Warhammer 2C. Odds are incredibly low. I am going to Warlord it. There's a possibility that we get through this armor, but the possibility is pretty low.
Acknowledge.
Yeah, as expected. Not very much there. And our main problem is just that we don't have visuals. This Orion closing in a little bit, but it's not going to be doing anything, like, at all. We do need to actually careful maneuver this longbow to get it moved. So we'll move it to here for right now. And I would like to continue to hit this Warhammer 2C. Hit odds are surprisingly good here. Do it. Nice. Okay, we'll see what our allies decide to do. This Galahad moves up, goes for the Warhammer, breaks through the armor that we softened. I like it. Reserve on this Galahad. That's an odd decision. Boar's Head going for the Stormcrow. It's got some AoE LRMs, but it fired them indirect. Atlas moves up, fires indirect at this Orion. Doesn't get a whole lot done, but it gets a little armor gone. Okay. This guy reserved back to phase 1. Okay, here's those enemy units. Now, we don't know what's up there just yet. Castilian kill team. Okay. So they might start destroying some of these Caretans. Little bit of splash damage on that Orion. They would have been better off. Well, the Atlas moved. I was going to say they'd be better off firing up there, but it may not be the case anymore. The Awesome can actually get split LOS here. We could fire on the Warhammer 2C, which would be mediocre hit odds, but we do have exposed structure there. Or we could fire on the Orion, which is worse hit odds, and we're definitely going to Warlord and fire on the Warhammer 2C.
Target confirmed. Take that.
Nice crits there. Into a knockdown. Now, we may no longer have LOS on this guy. We'll see. Our friend the Battlemaster moves up, fires on the Warhammer 2C. It could kill this. Put destruction, double heatsink destruction. It's not dead. But it's not doing well. The other Galahad moves up. Fires on him, misses both Gauss. Fair enough. Now, I do want to take a look at what the Castilians have. They dropped in with a Boar's Head, a second Boar's Head, and a Catapult C-21. There might be another unit cloaked over there that we don't see just yet. The Longbow's going to move up. We're going for the kill on this Warhammer 2C. It's gotta happen. Go ahead and hit the leg. Maybe it has ammo there, but probably not. That was a lot of transfer damage.
Reporting. Critical hit.
Did we expose it, CT? We can't see. Okay. The Stormcrow moves up, fires on that Orion. Gets some decent hits in with its HA Gauss. This is the Castilians. Let's see what they do. The Catapult moves up. Fires on... We can't see what it's shooting at, but it was this guy. So, the Castilians are indeed attacking the Caretans.
Good to go.
That is excellent. We're going to move our Salamander over... I saw... Yes, here. We're going to move our Salamander here. Now, we don't quite have visuals here still, but this is good enough. We're going to Warlord. And with this Orion's armor being basically fresh, we're probably better off firing AX rounds here.
Firing on target.
Okay. That didn't do as much damage as I'd hoped, but it's okay. Also firing on the Orion, getting a good amount of damage in there.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Now, the Mauler could come up this direction, or it could come over this way. From over here, we would have an LOS.
Pedal to the metal.
And that is on the Warhammer 2C here. The question is, what do we think about Stray Shot? I think we try it.
Uh-huh.
We're good. Okay. One mech down.
Bang! You're dead.
It's the lack of visuals that's really hurting us right now. The Firestarter is going to attack that Orion. Okay. The Hatamoto Chi is going to move up onto the ridge and go for the Stormcrow. Only a couple of hits, and most of those actually went into the battle armor. Cool.
What do you need?
The Corsair is going to move up over here.
Confirmed.
And I think our best bet for artillery at this exact moment is this Boar's Head.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
Just start stripping armor off of the Castilian forces. Perfect. Phase 16, what do they got? The Sparky moves up. We're not too concerned about the Sparky, if I'm honest. The Fafnir... I want to get the Fafnir up over this way to start engaging these guys. So we're going to sprint over here. We're not going to get LOS, but we're just going to move over this way. Okay. Phase 15, what do they got? The Direwolf moves up. Okay. What else? Either of these, the Orion or the Boar's Head, could move here. The Mjolnir could as well. I think they reserved. The Atlas moves up, fires on that Orion. The Orion is braced and in cover. So that's why it's taking so little damage. That said, its armor is quite weak over here. So there's that. The Mjolnir moves up. Shoots at our friend the Battlemaster. Gets some decent damage in there. Now the Mjolnir is going to die. Can I get the camera, please? Under control? Thank you. Thanks, RogueTech. So the Mjolnir is now in a decent place to attack as well. The Orion moves up, goes for the Stormcrow. Mostly misses. Okay, the Castilians are going to move now. So they've got their two Atlases here. But that's a stealth catapult. Okay. Now that was firing over at this Sparky. I like it. That's beautiful. The Boar's Head steps forward.
Commander?
At this time, the best target for our Bull Shark is objectively this catapult. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're even going to Warlord it to boost those odds.
Confirmed.
Fantastic hit there. We actually broke through the armor on that catapult. That's a huge deal. Our friend the Galahad comes up, goes for the Mjolnir, gets a couple of light Gauss hits. I think that's light Gauss. Yeah, that would have to be Light Gauss, with only doing 33 damage in cover. Yeah. The Boar's Head moves up. Goes for the Galahad. Okay. So we now have a number of targets that we can hit over here with our direct fire. That's good. Next up, they're closing their Boar's Head in over here.
Receiving you.
Our Madcap Mark II is going to... There's a lot of potential targets. I think we're going to move our way up over... Potentially... these are all bad. Okay. What I really want is to be able to hit this Orion. There does not seem to be such an option available to the Mad Cat right now. We could position here and go for the Boar's Head.
Going full throttle.
And I think that's what we're going to do. It's not what I would prefer, but it'll have to do.
Taking the shot.
So we get a little armor shred in there. We rolled quite poorly with the missiles. We maybe should have switched over to listen kill. The Atlas backs off, goes for the Orion indirect. I don't know about that call. He doesn't get a lot of damage done. And our allies just keep reserving for some reason. Okay.
Hell yes. It's on now.
Okay, next round. So first off, we're hitting the Boar's Head. I like it. That Boar's Head is unsteady. It's, of course, in the rough terrain. So then the Battle Master ace pilots forward. I like it. What else are they going to do in this round? The Stormcrow. That's going to go for the Mjolnir. Acceptable.
What are your orders, Skipper?
Now, I do have to say, it's looking very likely that this is going to be a 2-episoder.
I'm there.
We might take this a little longer in this episode. That said, I've been kind of procrastinating, and I do need to get this episode uploaded. So we're going to take this slight overheat, I think, here. Yes, this should be fine.
Fun time.
We're going to hit this Boar's Head hard. It should knock down from this. Beautiful. That's also a structure exposure. So that Boar's Head is honestly going to die pretty soon. That said, the structure exposure is in the arm, which is less useful. And they missed the Mjolnir. Okay, sure. That's fine. What time is it right now? Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do need to get this uploading if it's going to be processed in time. So, we're probably going to have to put a cut in fairly soon, but we can go a couple more minutes for sure. So they managed to hit the Boar's Head here, doing a good amount of armor damage there. And actually, since it's the arm that's the structure exposure, we do like getting armor damage right now, because look at how weak the CT is. Only 76 armor remaining there. Now, the Castilians are moving now. Actually, they're moving this Griffin, firing on the Galahad. That's a structure exposure on the Galahad. Now, we only need one unit to survive. The catapult moves up, fires on the Boar's Head. I love it. That is beautiful. Okay, so our Salamander is not going to go for the Atlas. I can tell you that right now. We're going to move up here into this cover. We do move through the fire. Now, we can fire on the Orion. And I think that's what we're going to do. I was expecting slightly higher hit odds here. ECM jamming. Fair enough. Okay, do we still take the AX? Or do we fire the improved? I think we go for the AX here.
Locked on.
That's a structure exposure. And an SRM for Valiant Destruction.
Reporting. Critical hit.
Okay.
I hear ya.
So the Mauler is going to move up over here. It could go for the Atlas, or it could go for the Orion. Hit odds are far better on the Atlas. That's knocked down. This is pretty likely a kill. We'll drop our 2 ER medium lasers for heat.
Right, Commander.
That's an arm destruction, a leg
Another hit
destruction.
Like that, you're toast.
We didn't hit the CT, like, almost at all. But we did a lot of damage to him.
Standing
The
by.
Awesome can close in over this way. The only one that the Awesome can hit direct fire is going to be the Orion. And what is the ECM jammer that's hitting us right now? Are we being jammed by our allied forces? I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to fire... That is a big mess of circles. But we're going to fire on the Orion here.
Let's see how you like this.
Didn't get the crits I was hoping for there, but that's okay.
Reporting critical hits.
We did make him unsteady, and let's see what our allies do here. Phase 16. What do they got? The Hunchback closes in, fires on that Orion. That was some pretty good internal hits there. I like it. Next up is our Corsair. Now, the Corsair, of course, is an artillery boat. We're going to move up over this way, and we're going to continue to fire on the Castilians here. I'm actually going to keep firing on the catapult, I think. Well, I don't think there's a point with the Corsair. I'm going to fire on the Boar's Head with the Corsair. Well, what are the hit odds? Yeah, the Boar's Head is the target for the Corsair.
Copy that.
Now, the Corsair is a pretty puny artillery piece, but it still gets some armor strip on all 4 of those, so that's beautiful. What's our ally going to do next? We'll find out. Any moment now, ally. The Firestarter jumps, shoots at the Boar's Head with an LRM-5. Gets 10 damage in. Okay. Nothing too impressive there. And what do the enemies move next? The Hatamoto Chi moves in this round. They're firing at the Salamander. They get very little damage dealt. I like it.
Armor holding.
Was that the Hatamoto Chi? I believe it was. It was indeed. Okay, so he moves in. He is now on the rough terrain as well.
Waiting for orders.
Now, the Fafnir, I do want to have it come out over this direction. It's not going to get
Double
LOS.
time. Let's go.
These hills are rough right now. But they're also protecting us. So our friend the Atlas moves up, fires on that Orion. Gets a little bit of internal damage there, destroys a PPC. Okay, cool. So phase 15, what else do they move? They're going to move their Mjolnir. And their Orion back here. Okay, cool. That's fine. So now it's going to be the Mjolnir, as soon as it's done thinking. Okay. It goes for this Battlemaster. Gets very little done. I like it. Now the Castilians are going to move. What are they going to do? This catapult moves up, goes for the Boar's Head. I love it. Actually gets some splash damage there and destroys the Boar's Head for us. That's really, really good. Okay. And with that, it really is time to put a cut in here. I got to get this uploading. So we'll finish this episode, or rather this mission, next time. We have a long ways to go yet, so that'll be fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.